Hey guys, I should be here. How's it going? I think it's working, eh? Okay. What's up? What's going on, everyone? Oh, get your coffees. Get all your coffees. Let's start coffee posting. It's coffee time. As always, guys, I'm live on Twitch, on YouTube, on Kick, and on Twitter. Though Twitter doesn't have a chat room, so you can't really talk to me on Twitter. But how's it going, everyone? Vivek just seems like a Trump copy paste, which is fine if you like Trump. But he's like what's the term? It's not revolutionary because revolutionary is too leftist. He's not a leftist. He's like an actual dissident. You know what I mean? And the honest truth is that I'm not a political dissident when it comes to I'm definitely a moderate. I'm an institutionalist. I'm a liberal. I don't care about dissident politics. I care about them and that they're important, but I am not a friend of dissident politics, if that makes sense. That's how I feel about Vivek. I think he's trying to fill in the spot that Trump is leaving behind by not being at the debates, Patrick. That's the situation. Oh man. This is my first coffee today. Listen, I got up early in the morning to go on EFAP. I was on EFAP, something like 6 hours ago. I hung around with Mahler for maybe 2 hours and change. Pretty good. Um, and then I decided to go and start doing some other work. And I've been holding off and having the first coffee of the day until I could have it with you guys, and now I'm having it with you guys. So, what's going on? Nikki Haley wiped the floor with Vivek. Yeah, kinda. Like in the second half, especially, Nikki Haley just came out and was like, "Hey, how about we, reasonable? You know what? At this point, I will actually take the neocons back over the insanity of the post 2020 Trump crowd. I'll take the neocons. I didn't like the neocons as a kid. I still don't really like them, but they are the lesser evil at this point. Someone asked if I finally how the car search went. Well, we have the new car. It's quite nice. It is an old man car. Yes, it is a 2019 Buick Encore. Look up Buick Encore. Here, real quick. What's a Buick Encore? Where's that picture of the? Here we go. Okay, so I might have shown it off last week. I don't remember. I'll just show it off again real quick. This is the model of car that I got. It is a mini SUV, the smallest SUV size. It's a nice car for going around a city just to getting errands done. It's not some it's not like a Jeep. It's not something huge. It's not a big truck or anything. But it's also not like the little shitbox 2006 Rust Bucket, you know, the literal dumpster mobile we had last time. We got something nice. Yeah. So this is the car that Naomi and I picked up. Okay. Bad move buying a Buick. Well, it's still under warranty if it ever needs fixing. Maybe it'll be okay. Yep. Dave named the car Pequod. No, it was Pequot. Sorry, Pequot. Should have gotten a Bugatti. Oh, okay. So, I see there's many copers yesterday. From yesterday still in the chat. Hello guys. How's it going? How's how's all the copium? Started my Sunday with fat lines off my mirror. Well, nice. Thanks for the $5, Ian. Monarchy is the best system? No, it's not. Nope. I don't think I'll need my headphones today, so I'll take those off. I think, yeah. Hey, Dev, I posted an obviously real picture of you in announcements. Stop fucking with my announcements channel. God damn it. Hold on. Just wait, you fucking cucks. Leave alone the multi-million-dollar president crack addict son. Hold on. I don't care what happens to fucking Hunter Biden. Go ahead. Listen, you want to take Hunter Biden out? Go ahead, man. Throw him under the bus. Throw the fucking book at him. Good. Do it. Should have called it the short fat mobile. Thanks, Almodorius. So here's the thing. Hi, Dev Boy. Enjoy your spat with V yesterday? Yes, actually. Well, V and I, like, we talk every day, man. Like, we all talk every day in private. This wasn't anything new. You know what I mean? C. Dranzer, I love you, but I'll never stop giving you shit for living the monoparty. Okay. I understand the monoparty point of view. All right. The monoparty point of view is when people say monoparty, what they mean is like there is no real opposition, that it's all just controlled, and they actually just like they just help each other, and it's all just a big deal they've made behind closed doors. You know what I mean? And like that is, it feels good to believe that, you know? It feels good to believe that they're actually not in opposition and everything's rigged, because then it kind of like it removes agency from you, because now you don't have to do anything. You're just like, well, it's all rigged. I can't fucking change anything. But also, it makes you feel like you know the truth about the universe, because like it's been hidden from you, and what you see is not actually what really is. You know, it's the they live phenomenon, where you feel like you're the special one who knows the real, but like it's just not true, man. You know, when the left and the right agree on something, it could be that they're conspiring to keep, let's say, the common person down. Or it could be that they're correct. because if they're correct, you would expect them to agree, right? So no, I don't buy the whole that it's all rigged. You know, the truth is the game was rigged from the start. Sounds great in a video game, doesn't sound so great in real life. Both wings are attached to the same bird. Yeah, that bird is the United States. Brock says, Dev, Kemp literally just admitted that the machines could be hacked. You know, any machine can be hacked. Show me proof that it was. All right? Until then, that is just nonsense. What are my thoughts on populism? Populism it's a mode of politics that is completely natural, especially especially if you don't like how things are going, but also it's ultimately self-defeating. Populists tend to burn themselves up very quickly, because populists, once they take office, they have no idea how to rule. And like Trump has proven this, and Bernie would have proven it if he ever got the chance, right? In fact, like in Brazil, Lula is proving it now, because he's a left populist. And so like it's true that like institutions can become corrupt, and I'm going to do a video on the necessity of institutions. It's true that institutions can become corrupt, but also institutions are necessary, and there is no institution choice. That doesn't exist. It can't exist. All right. Did you hear about the Jacksonville shooting? The shooter apparently hated black people, killed 4, and had the Nazi symbol on one of his guns. No, this is news to me, dude. This is news to me, dude. Man, I don't buy that monarchy is stable though, Amr Yasser. Look at how many how many succession crises there have been over the course of human history. The monarchy isn't inherently stable. Here, I'll look at the Jacksonville shooting another time. Thank you for cluing me into it. Your refusal to acknowledge evidence. No, show me evidence that they were actually hacked. Not evidence that they could be hacked. Show me evidence that they were. You don't have any evidence. All right. You show it. Post it. Post it right now. Go. Here. I'm allowing myself to be one guide by Brock Sampson. Go. Post the evidence. Go. I think the difference with the Tranifesto is that ended up not being found by like a family member who put it out or a friend who put it out or like someone that was found by the police themselves and they're choosing not to release it. Yeah. Willison, $5. Knowing the system is rigged isn't okay. It's more. Oh, Jesus Christ, hold on. There's too many fucking things going on here. Okay, well, listen, $5. Knowing the system is rigged isn't a black pill, just a black powder treatment and a plot pill. I have seen the N word for Trump guy. I have seen the N word for Trump guy, and he's pretty funny. Yeah, but no, the honest truth is, the system can be rigged, and it has been rigged, and it's probably even a little bit rigged, but it's not nearly rigged enough to explain why populists on the right wing keep losing. They keep losing because their ideas are unpopular. Emperor Creatine, $5. Thank you. Apparently, COVID restrictions and vaccine pushes are coming back in the news just in time for election season. How about that? I have seen that too. I don't know how it's going to go in the States, but here there is no political will for it. And here's the thing: health is governed by the provinces in Canada. And on a provincial level, the Ontario Premier has said no. That shit's not coming back. No one liked the vaccine passport. No one liked the mask mandate. It's not coming back. I don't know about how it was with you guys, but like last winter, like early 2023, there was like a wondering, like, should we put mask mandates back in? And the premier was just like, no, just no. So, you know what? Who knows what'll happen in the States? It probably won't happen in the States either. As always, especially since like COVID is now more normal, there shouldn't be mandates. That's fucking stupid. So, if there is, you should make your voice heard. You should resist them. And you know what? The policy will follow the public opinion, as it always does. Hollywood and some colleges in the U.S. are bringing them back. Well, that's just that's private business. That's different, right? Because like even before the pandemic, if a private business wanted to make you wear a mask or else you can't come in, that's their choice. It's their private property. I don't care if Hollywood does it. I don't care if colleges do it. I care if the government forces it. That's the difference. $5 from Charlie. Thank you. Sorry for off topic, but what is the friend enemy distinction thing? Lotus, you just talking about it. I can't remember. Okay, here. The TLDR of the friend enemy distinction. It was Carl Schmitt's idea. He was a judge in Nazi Germany, and he wrote political theory in Spain after the Second World War. And he wrote about how all political distinctions can be boiled down to friend and enemy, and that's it. And either a person is your friend or he is your enemy, and the middle ground basically is a liberal illusion. The friend enemy distinction is, in a strange way, it's the right wing's version of the left's everything is political, right? Because when the left says everything is political, they're responding to the liberal claim that, hey, don't make this political. This is neutral. We're coming at this from a neutral point of view. And the left says everything is political. You can't be neutral in a moving train. You can't stand still in a moving train. You're either with us or against us. And then on the right, you have the friend enemy distinction, which says the exact same thing, that you can't have neutrality. These are arguments against neutrality, and frankly, I don't think they're actually very good arguments against neutrality. Oh man, that coffee is excellent. Didn't I say that aristocracy is more stable? Aristocracy is more stable in that it's more calcified, is what I mean. Like the hierarchy itself is more stable. You can't go from peasant to king in an aristocracy. So it's stable in that sense. but the entire system it's like within the system it's stable, but the entire system itself tends to collapse because it's rigid, right? It's one of those like strong but rigid things, and so it's it's like rigid and brittle, so it doesn't bend. So it's sturdy, but also it breaks when pushed. It's one of those things. Meanwhile, meritocracy and democracy, they're more like gelatinous. You know, they'll bend a whole lot more, but they also won't be quite as rigid. My heavens, that I made it the fuck up. Brock says, you've dismissed or ignored everything I've given you, Dev. Do it! Send it! I'm right here! Send it! Stop talking! I'm scrolling through the chat. Maybe you sent it later. I'm going to see. Derek for $10. We don't have proof that our votes counts. Also, absence of proofs of interference in the electoral process can also just be the result of the lack of mechanisms to detect interference in the first place. So that's true, Derek, but you can't really go through life just distrusting everything all the time. And you don't, all right? Every time you buy food from the grocery store, you don't die, you are trusting that various food safety institutions are actually doing their job. Right? You get on the bus arrives, more or less on time. It usually does in Western developed countries. You're trusting those institutions to work. Our entire life is full of institutions in the background that function and that work, and they do everything they're supposed to do, and they're not corrupt. All right? So the blanket I am against institutions position just seems to be stupid. €5 from Drakus. Thank you. You're getting one guide like Francois Ledon. Monoparty is also about some of their party policies. Look at Labour and Conservatives in the UK. So yeah, Labour and Conservatives in the UK. I saw that poll about Conservative MPs being far more left-leaning than Conservative voters, and that is a problem, right, Drakus? Like the UK has that problem more than Canada and more than the States. Absolutely. Like you're not going to get a fucking Trump or a Vivek in the UK. Everyone said that Boris Johnson was Trump, but Boris Johnson wasn't Trump. He wasn't fucking Trump. Trump was far more right-wing than Boris Johnson was. So the UK is facing a problem, yes, they have to solve. They need an actual right-wing party that actually represents the right-wing electorate. That's true. But that problem doesn't exist in Canada and it doesn't exist in the United States. I mean, the fact that you have a populist wing of the Republicans that is polling and is getting votes, and you know what, is winning elections, I mean, that those people are being electorally represented. So, no, I don't think it's a problem here. Let's see. Hold on. It scrolled too much. It scrolled too much. I don't want to miss Brock's nonsense. Let's see it. Let's see. Scrolling. Where is he? Why haven't you responded to the point about the audits, Dev? You always do it. Come on. You're changing the topic, Brock. It's not what I asked you. Come on, Brock. Show me. You said, you were like, they proved that the machines could be hacked. Show me a proof that they were hacked, Brock. Show me proof they were hacked. Go. You can't. You can't, can you? Okay. Anyway. What brand of coffee am I drinking? Says Alan Mandorius for $2. Thank you. I drink Kicking Horse. I like Kicking Horse quite a bit. Yet you still don't trust Aiden Paladin? Yes, because she was my friend, and then she betrayed my trust twice. So no, I don't trust her. I will. You know what? I will unironically. Hold on. I will unironically trust reports that come out of the Canadian government more than I trust Aiden Paladin. And the main reason for that is because what Aiden Paladin did to me was personal and was directed at me. And the government doesn't give a shit about me. Okay, Artemis Fowl, $5. You know damn well nobody's talking about those things like bus route stuff. Trying to conflate the argument with mundane processes is disingenuous. You know what's really funny though, Artemis, is that some people do. So, do you guys recall when I was in the Archcast, maybe a month ago, I pointed out, this is something that's common knowledge about me, but I guess Arch's audience didn't know it. I pointed out that I used to work for the civil service, okay, and it was municipal level, like blue collar, blue collar grunt work for the city, okay. Picking up garbage, inspecting people's like water lines, going to their houses, and like going into sewers. It was all the very kind of blue collar like hands on work, right? Operating heavy machinery. I did that job for a while, and it was my experience with that job is that we didn't have enforcement mechanisms. So, for example, there were certain things that our job required us to ask people to do certain things, and then if they said no, it's not like it was some sort of coercive ask, because we didn't actually have enforcement power. We couldn't call the cops and make them do what we wanted them to do, because our department could only ask. It could not actually, just because we were part of the state, didn't mean that it was a coercive relationship that we were asking people to do certain things for us. And then everyone said, Dev, very clearly, working for the civil service is not the same thing as working for the FBI. And, fair enough, because the FBI is a law enforcement agency and the civil service is not. So, fair enough. However, trying to conflate the argument with mundane processes is disingenuous. Artemis, if you go over to Arch's stream right now, there are people saying, Dev worked for the government. He cannot be trusted. So, when it suits those people, they are completely happy to conflate mundane processes with, let's say, the more high profile parts of the government, like the FBI. It's stupidity. There's no actual standard in these arguments. It's just whatever the fuck people want at the time. Derek G, $5 Canadian. LOL, there have been many proof of the FDA and our Canadian counterparts being corrupt and allowing toxic stuff in our foods and medicines. Post them. Go ahead. I'll take a look. The Hylian Juggalo. Mandates are cool if it's a private place. Okay, tell the meat suckers to stop threatening to sue over cake decorations. Yeah, I find the cake decoration thing cringe too, man. I'm not in support of that at all. That's retarded. Fondue. This is why they dislike what left has done to institutions. Not every institution is built on power, and all you do is destroy the ones that aren't. Exactly, Fondue. Exactly. Like here's the thing. This is why institutions must be left alone. All right. The left can't subvert them, and the right can't subvert them. You have to leave them alone. And you can't abolish them either. They have to be made neutral. Hold on, let's see here. Nikki Haley's abortion position. She was fundamentally pro-life, but she said that like the polling wasn't with that position and the Senate wasn't with that position. So Realpolitik basically demanded that they compromise for like a 12-week abortion ban federally. I mean, it's probably fine. $5 from Pyro. Isn't Vivek the Morrowind dude? That's funny, actually. Hold on. I want to make sure I didn't lose Brock. I'm gonna scroll back up and look for him. I'm looking for him. He keeps saying, Deb, you keep running away. I'm not running away now, man. I'm looking for, where's your message? I'm scrolling. Where's the message? Don't see it yet. Sketch, $5. Thoughts on using the term paleo-liberal to describe the classical liberals instead of such as anti-woke liberal terminology? Paleo-liberal might work because you have like paleo-conservative, and those are like in the old type of conservative as opposed to neoconservative. No, you have paleo-libertarian to refer to like Rothbard's kind of crazy ideas. Maybe. Yeah. Hold on. Let's see here. $2. You know it's a joke at your expense, Dev. Honestly, when I read it, no, I don't think so. Because it wasn't written as a joke. It was written as a serious reply to another reply. It's like, well, all right. I still don't see Brock. I guess he ran away. Okay. $10 from Brian. Thank you very much. It's true that the documents are the best case against Trump, but that recording has nothing to do with it. He was only talking about an article he said he could refute if he had declassified something. Everyone says that it was like a newspaper article he was holding up and not a classified document. As far as I can tell, there is no proof of that. I've tried to like substantiate that. Haven't seen proof of it. I have seen the people who were in the room, who are all like the women who were in that recording. They said that it was actually a classified document. I don't know where this newspaper thing came from. I guess we'll see in court. Who knows, right? Because here's the thing, okay? If it were actually a classified document, which means that they have to get the testimony of those women who said that it was, who recorded it. They get that testimony, they establish it's a classified document. Then here's what they can do. Even though it's not part of the actual like court, the court filings, hold on, Jesus, I gotta click my. There's a bunch of documents that Trump is being charged with holding, and the document that he apparently held up in that conversation wasn't one of the ones he was charged with holding. However, what it will establish, what that recording will establish, is that it will establish mens rea. So mens rea means guilty mind. It basically it's when you show that someone knew they were committing a crime. You know, that's the difference between murder and manslaughter. You know, manslaughter is like, oh, I made a mistake, shit, someone died. Murder is, I killed him. You know, you have to know that what you're doing is a crime because intention matters. So you have Trump on a voice recording, you know, holding up a document and saying, I could have declassified this, but I didn't. And that recording happened after he told not the FBI, was it the document service or whatever? He told the federal government, I don't have any more documents. So if they can establish that he was actually holding a document, that establishes that he knew he had documents that he shouldn't have had, and that he knew he was lying to the feds. That's why it's a slam dunk case. Okay? Now, they're going to have to establish that it wasn't a newspaper he was holding up in the call. But I think that'll actually be pretty easy. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But I think that'll be pretty easy with what I know so far. And yeah, he shouldn't have kept the documents. He should have just given them back. He's fucking retarded. Okay, Brock says, we saw the votes flipping live, Dev. We saw them flipping live. The machines are connected to the internet. Proof, bitch. Give me the fucking proof. You don't have any. Like, Brock, are you the guy who like sees the magician, like, you know, cut the girl in half on stage and is like, oh my god, I saw it with my own two eyes. We saw that, right? The girl's in half. How is she alive? Oh, like, come on, dude. Where's my fire support, Dev? Also penis. Thanks, C. Thomas. Very appreciated. Wait, I'm a Fed? I didn't even work for the federal government. I work for a city. I work for like the lowest level of government. I work for a municipality. Artemis, you can hear many papers being ruffled in the audio recording. Here's for Dev's weekly argument with the chat. Thanks, buddy. If he had the document, it'd be in the indictment. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. Slurp, slurp, argue with chat. Slurp, slurp, argue some more. That's how these streams go, baby. No, there's only one if. There's only one if, Artemis. There's one if. That's it. The one if is, was he holding a newspaper or was he holding a document? And the people who were there claim it was a document. So, sounds good to me. Okay, listen, Wes is here. My friend Wes. Wes, the last time we talked about the election shit, you still thought that like them bringing the case out from underneath the table in that one security footage, that was like them bringing out fake ballots, and that wasn't them bringing out fake ballots. that was like that case went to court, and it was discovered it wasn't actually fake ballots before January 6th. All right. I think a lot of people who still think the election was stolen, they're operating off of like knee-jerk intuitions and extremely old information that they haven't updated because the news cycle moved on and they moved on with it. They didn't keep up with everything. Crack Bandicoot. Okay, that's quite a name. $5. Can you explain how Trump's recording is more admissible in court than Kyle Rittenhouse's social media posts? No, I can't actually. I don't know the comparison being made there. I have to think about it. $2 from Roar Noah Zorro. That's quite the name. $2. Thank you. Tim Pool made up the newspaper thing. Did he? I haven't heard that. That seems like it might be. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. And then from Some Dumb Spider. Thank you. Not a slam dunk. A president can declassify and have documents, but requires a separate process to declassify for the public. Yeah, so you know what? If Trump didn't tell anybody he was declassifying documents, then they aren't declassified. This whole psychic declassification is just bullshit cope. Can we get to the articles? I want the cringe. Says Willison. Thank you. $10 from Alamandorius. Thank you. Dev, I've worked over the last few years in 2 different federal institutions. The amount of SJW left-wing policy in them was incredible. I would lay out what I'm talking about, but I'm not rich. Okay. Oh wait, Wes left? Hold on. I laid out that and he just pieced out? All right, Wes. Anyway, listen. I'm not surprised that hold on. I wouldn't be surprised if there's left-wingers in the government, in the civil not civil service, in let's say the various federal services. I wouldn't be surprised if there's SJWs in there. We saw the CIA do that weird fucking recruiting thing with the girl boss shit. No, I get it, man. I get it. But you need more than simply their presence. You need evidence that they've actually done something wrong. Emperor Creatine for $10. Thank you. The classified documents case is the strongest case against Trump, but I don't think lots of people take it seriously since the feds declined to prosecute Hillary Clinton. Well, that's what I said on Arch's show, right? Is that Hillary, at the very least, was smart enough to not get caught on a fucking phone call saying, "Man, I've got all these classified emails in my private server and they shouldn't be there. Do you want to see them?" It's... Hillary played dumb, right? And she was like, "I didn't wipe the server with a cloth. Oh, I'm a retard." Yeah, Hillary did that, and it made her look stupid. But you know what? She looked stupid, and she got away with it. That's what you got to do. And Trump didn't do it. Amr Yasser, thank you for the donation. Conservative chat can't understand based lib dev only if dev was a monarchist. Yeah, here. I could be a monarchist, and then I could be anti-American government, and then you guys would be all on my side saying the exact same thing. I lied about the broken pipe in 2020. Which one was that again? Was that the broken water pipe? I have to look at that again. $5. For the love of God, stop engaging with obviously wrong people about the election. It's coming off as you doing it purposely to ignore valid questions. Dude, there are too many people in the chat, and they are all wrong. I love you guys, but you're dumb. Okay, where's... I'm trying to go through all the super chats, guys. This might be the end. Hold on. Wasn't the whole Aiden thing you getting mad at her for talking to people you don't like? Why are you policing who she talks to? No, it wasn't. I don't care who she talks to. It was about her trying to get me to talk to people that previously backstabbed me and not taking no for an answer about 10 fucking times, and then sending what I say to her to them. So no, that's what it's about. I said, you know what? I don't fucking need this bullshit in my life. Get her the fuck out of here. Hold on. $5. Thank you. From Chika, I can't pronounce that. Populists think they're popular, therefore when they lose an election, they have to push conspiracies instead of rethinking their worldview. Yeah, exactly. You know what? In retrospect, I kind of feel like Trump might have not even won 2016. He probably just lost. Hillary probably just lost it. You know, like Hillary was a ridiculously unpopular candidate. If Trump went up against somebody on the left who was actually popular, would he have won 2016? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Dev, you've clearly been exposed to Destiny too much. It's like being irradiated. He hangs on your ear like a little blue-haired worm tongue. I haven't spoken to Destiny, like, on stream or off, in like 6 months. It's been no, man. No. I was just trying to think about it. Like, when's the last time I even spoke? Like, I got him in touch with a investigative journalist I knew for some Andrew Tate stuff. Like an actual conversation. It's been over a year. So no, I don't think so. Taras Shevchenko, thank you for the $5. Trump is proof that it is possible to be stupid to a criminal level. Yeah, kind of. I thought Dev was wrong because of Arch Dono clip. God, it is a funny Dono clip. You know what I mean? It is a funny Dono clip. Okay. Ian743, that's 38 shekels. Thank you. Election in the U.S. are a farce. Voting without ID. Voting from home, how can it be trusted? Voting from home is common in a lot of places. However, I do agree you should have ID. Like, you should have ID. The fact that Americans don't have voter ID is fucking ridiculous. What the fuck? You should have voter ID. $5 from Artemis. I hope Destiny comes out against the institutions soon so we can have a more realistic opinion from Dev again. Okay, here. It's too bad that Wes Willivin left. He kind of like he went off in a huff because this is a perfect question. This is a perfect question. Okay. Here, chat. I want you to answer yes or no to this question. Okay. Yes or no to this question. I want you to answer yes or no to this question. Are you guys, let's say, elite theorists? And what I mean by elite theorists specifically, before you answer yes or no, is the idea that the people at the top of society, the elites, people in the government, people in business, you know, people who are at the very top of society, they basically control everything top down, including public opinion. So the idea is that, like, democracy it's always going to be rigged because the people in power can influence the electorate to vote a certain way. So even if they get like the popular vote, they're going to end up turning around and like voting for the people in power anyway. So there's no actual real democracy. Everything is basically astroturfed by the people at the top. That's the idea, that like everything is like, if something goes viral, let's say politically, it's because the elites want it to go viral. You know, if an election happens, it's because it's like, it basically, the levers of power in society is used by the people at the top to maintain their own position. It's something like that, right? Yeah. See, so like this is the game was rigged from the start position, right? That's what we're talking about. Okay, is that like the people at the top use their power and their influence to maintain their position at the top. And in fact, things like democracy is basically just, should I poll it? Okay, here I'll poll it. Sure. Things like democracy. Where's the poll? Where's the poll? How do you do a poll? Okay, hold on. Okay, here. I'll word it like this. Is democracy, government, institutions, popular opinion, etc. Wait, hold on. Popular opinion. Let's say like culture, to a lesser extent, etc. Rigged by the elites of society. Yes or no? Go ahead. Is democracy, government, institutions, popular opinion, culture, etc. rigged by the elites of society? All right? Because here's the thing. The people who are like very pro-Trump and like Trump, Trump was robbed of 2020 and the entire establishment is out to get him. The mono party is coming down and destroying the popular grassroots support. Like, you have to say yes to this. If you believe that, you have to say yes to this. You must. Okay? Okay. So, there we go. We have like half and half. Okay? We have half and half. Okay. 55-45. Okay, sounds about right. So, I'll just end that poll now. I'm going to do a second poll. Okay? Okay. If you answered yes, do you believe in the Me Too movement? Yes or no? Because you know what the Me Too movement is, right? That's... Fill me in. There's more super chats. I got to read them. I'll read them while the poll runs. Can we get... hold on. Emperor Creatine, $5. But Dev, voter ID is racist and suppresses the minority vote, so you have to let all the legal immigrants vote Democrat. Yeah, it's obviously bullshit. No. Toss the illegals out. They shouldn't be fucking here. Wait, do the articles, by the way, you ever look at the Burger King Kids Club play equipment images I sent you 3 months ago? I did look at them. I just haven't used them on stream yet. But thank you, though, Tricky. I did enjoy the trip down memory lane. Operation Mockingbird, says Artemis Fowl. Of course, intelligence will do things that will obviously do things like that. Yes. I'm not saying that they're fucking innocent, Artemis. They're obviously not. Taras Shavenko, $10. Regards to any merits of the topic of election integrity, do you think vote from home is compatible with the concept of the private vote? I do, yes. Yeah. I don't think voting from home is necessarily bad. Okay. The Hunter Biden laptop. Okay, they literally silenced the New York Post, prevented the story from being spread on social media. All of the MSM outlets called it Russian disinformation. Okay, so they silenced it for 1 day. Then it came out that it was real. And they unsilenced it. And the Streisand effect on it was so fucking huge, you're still talking about it 3 years later. So no, I don't buy the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing. It was obviously censored, obviously. And obviously the feds had like their hand in it, trying to get Twitter to do it. Like, that seems pretty much evident at this point. But does that mean that the whole fucking election is illegitimate? No, it doesn't. That's cope. Okay. 100 DKKs. Thank you, man. While there's no evidence that the elites are actually pulling the strings, there's plenty of decisions they like to. The plebs don't know what's good for the mentality is alive and well. Oh, it's true. I'm sure the elites want to, but I don't see evidence that they actually do. Okay, hold on. Yeah. New poll. Did we land on the moon? Thank you. Thank you for the comment, Cure. 40 shekels from Ian. Thank you. I believe you find life such a problem because you think there are good people and bad people. You're wrong, of course. There are always and only the bad people, but some of them are on opposite sides. No, I think that good people and bad people are the same. Everyone's good and everyone's bad. And I think when Jordan Peterson said that the line cuts right down the middle of your soul, that's probably true. The government does not care about the toothpaste you like or the color of car you buy. David's an absurd dichotomy of a scenario. What do they care about, Artemis? Tell me about it. DH had Dev reporting illegals on Twitter to ICE. Yes, based. Artemis. 15% of Biden voters said they wouldn't have voted for Biden if they knew the laptop story was true. I remember seeing those numbers. I also remember seeing someone doubting them. I have to look into those numbers again before I give you like a concrete reply on that. I gotta see. It's possible that's still an accurate figure. It's possible it's not. Okay, so the poll. God damn it, there's still more fucking... Okay, they silenced it for more than 1 day. I'm pretty sure that on Twitter it was silenced for 1 day. I recall seeing that in in like a breakdown of the Twitter files. And after the election, I just said that. Yeah, I think there's some problems with the 15% polling data. I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look into it later, though. I remember seeing the polling data of 15% of people would have voted for Trump instead of Biden, but I also remember seeing some breakdowns of the data showing that might have been misleading. I don't know, so I can't comment on that. I'm going to look at it and come back to it. Okay. But yeah, so those of you who voted yes for the first poll, that you believe that people at the top of society use their influence to control society and control public opinion, and control institutions and stuff. If you voted yes to that, and then you voted no for Me Too, why? Like, what is your objection with Me Too, guys? Hold on. I'll read all the super chats in a minute. I just want to see. Does anyone have an objection for Me Too? I don't understand women. Oh, they're doing a gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Hold on. So like, it's a horrible gotcha attempt. I like how hold on. Everyone's saying it's a gotcha, but you can't actually answer. Come on. Go on. So like, listen. Me Too. The idea behind Me Too was that you had women who were sexually assaulted by men of power, right? This is the Harvey Weinstein situation, or like the Bill Cosby situation. And yes, some of them ended up being untrue, obviously, because that's how it works when you're dealing in the court of public opinion. Some of them are going to be untrue, and that's bullshit. Those are terrible women. But some of them weren't. Some of them weren't untrue. And the idea is that a woman was sexually assaulted by an elite member of society who controls so much influence that the court system and the legal system was never going to give them any justice. So instead, they had to come to the court of public opinion and put their case out there. That was the initial impetus behind Me Too. It has since devolved into a bunch of nonsense where you have like the super mega shit, right? Where you have people like Me Tooing YouTubers who have no institutional power whatsoever. Like that's retarded. But when Me Too began, it was straight up victimized women going after men in positions of power, believing that their positions of power protected them. All right? Now, that is the exact same logic that people who, for example, claim that Trump had the election stolen in 2020 uses. That the monoparty came together and used their elite status to rig the game and and put their finger on the scale. It's all the same thing. It's all the same type of conspiratorial thinking. But the reason that you support one type of conspiratorial thinking and you don't support a different type of conspiratorial thinking is because one of them helps your politics and one of them hurts your politics. It's as simple as that. Shaker Silver says, Dev, they literally bragged about rigging the game. Yeah, I read that article. Was it On Time, I think? That fortified the election article. I read that. And you know what? If you actually read past the headline, that's not what they're saying. That was a bombastic headline that was fucking stupid, but it's not what they're saying. Flamenco as mod equals unsubbed and never watching your stuff again. He is a PDF file. Okay. Show me proof of that too, dude. I'm already seeing no proof of fucking anything. So show me proof. Okay. So should I? Here, I'll read the super chats, then we'll get on to the articles, okay? Because we've now been fighting for what? Oh, geez, we've been fighting for 50 minutes. I thought it was less than that. Maybe this will just be like the dev struggle session stream. Because I don't have much time today. Here, let's read the super chats again. Thank you very much for all the supporters, for all the support, by the way. $5 pyro train thing. It's easier for chat to say the election was rigged than saying Democrats played way better ground game where it counted. Yeah, like they like people who support Trump just can't believe that Trump lost, even though he obviously lost. By my standards, Watergate is not the reason to question the legitimacy of the 1972 election. It absolutely is, even if Nixon would have won anyways. I can't comment on that because I don't know enough about the 1972 election. Sorry, Ace. I don't know. $20 from Derek. Thank you. Dev, would you have a chat with Jay Dyer, who spent his whole life studying the writing of the elite and government official documents? At least look at his stuff, and the evidence says that the government and institutions are captured. If I can see his stuff, I'll take a look at it. Sure, of course. Ian for 10 shekels. Thank you. It was a quote from Guards. I don't know what Guards is. Sorry. Terrace for $10. You might rightfully say that this is too rare to matter, but if one person pressures the whole household to vote from home to ensure everyone votes in an agreeable way, is it something that should happen? No, obviously not. Like, good luck finding it and prosecuting it, but should it happen? No. Ethan Rogers, $5. I think the main issue is that people view institutions as being unfair as is, with varying levels of proof. Here's the thing: you can't go without institutions, right? There are some people who think that the institutions are corrupt and need reforming, okay? And that's a conversation you can have. You can be like, listen, okay, well, here's why they're corrupt, here's why they're not corrupt. Look over the evidence. You can come to a reasonable conclusion with like just reasonable dialogue, right? However, there are some people who say that the concept of an institution is just inherently corrupt. Admittedly, I've seen more people on the right say that than on the left, but I have seen it on the left as well. And the problem is you can't. That's just a non-starter. You can't say that because like everything around us is now institutionalized, and it has to be, because each and every single one of us as individuals are too stupid to actually do everything that happens ourselves, right? Like, are you capable of running, in-depth biological tests on all the food that you buy so that you know that you're not buying poisoned food? No. You have to trust that to a safety institution. And you know what? In the West, they more or less work. Like, are you capable of actually, like, I don't know, pick anything that's complex in society, any product you buy a computer, you buy a tool, you buy a house. Are you capable of in-depth inspecting all of these things to the level of an expert, so you know that you're actually getting your money's worth and not just being like, not just being gypped? No, you can't do that, because no one can be an expert in everything, right? When society was very simple, it was very easy to be an expert in everything. You could become an expert in hunting and gathering and, like, making tents, making little teepees. When we were like living literally in shit, you could be an expert at everything that the society needed. You can't do that anymore. You just can't do that anymore. Now you have to trust that other people are doing their jobs properly, which means some sort of robust standard that is enforced across an entire segment of the economy. It has to be that way. Either you literally return to monkey and we go back to tribal times with no technology whatsoever, or you trust that other people are doing their jobs. And you trust the mechanisms that we've crafted to ensure that other people are doing their jobs. Now, trusting doesn't mean trusting blindly. If they're corrupted, they need to be fixed. But you cannot simply abolish them, right? This is why the libertarians who say abolish the Fed, they're retards. They're just full retards, and they add nothing to the conversation. So I'm sympathetic to the idea that an institution might need to be reformed, but abolished? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Scrolling down to the next thing. $5 from Pyro, thank you. Excellent, gotcha, Dev. You really put chat in the hot seat with the poll. In 2018, I watched a man get dragged into an alleyway and did nothing. Well, okay. Why did you do nothing? Just out of curiosity? Is it because you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you? $5, Almondorius. A lot of things happen because of Me Too. Shifts in policy and whatnot, so you can't say it wasn't effective. Here's the thing: I don't even like Me Too. Like, I don't even like Me Too, because it's my opinion that they should have brought the any sexual assault claims they had, they should have brought them to the police, and they should have brought them to the courts. However, if you believe the police and the courts are corrupt, which a lot of you do right now, then you can't hold that position, because why would you think they would ever get justice, right? $5 from Original Yellow. Thank you. If the big three industrialists could get Teddy Roosevelt elected to promote their interests, why would it not happen now with more control apparatuses? It can, but you need proof that it is before you can take action. Almendorius, $5. Anyway, gotta stop super chatting. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I disagree with you, but I still love you, Shorty. Well, thanks very much, man. $20 from Highly and Juggalo. Thank you. Trust in institution requires unbroken trust. You want to apply, they aren't guilty now, but they were before, scrutinizing each moment individually. This is bad logic because in the past it's okay not to trust by default. Okay, here's the thing. The only thing you can do at that point, Highly and Juggalo, is that you have to reform them. You can't abolish them, all right? And a lot of, let's say, the dissident right now wants to abolish them, and that's bad, all right? You know, it's just bad. If you think that like there needs to be extra oversight, okay, we can talk about extra oversight. Like there's a reasonable conversation to be had there. And you know what? I'm down for extra oversight on institutions. But this idea that like we just need to like wipe the slate clean, no. Cannot agree. That's a bad idea. Not into it. $10 from Awakened Martes. Thank you. Would you ever do a video on the way that leftists or left liberals treat people who criticize Islam, former Muslims? Apostate prophet may be someone worth reaching out to. Oh, like the ex-Muslim crowd? I mean, I don't know if there's much meat there. Like, there's definitely a lot of meat there, but it's like you're gonna have some of the atheist leftists who are totally cool with them because they just hate all people who are religious, and then you're gonna have like some of the more like race-oriented leftists who are gonna be angry at them because of cultural appropriation or whatever. Like, I already know how that conversation is gonna go. Like, it's kind of just straight up. Yeah, I get it. Like, I don't know if there's like I get where that logic already leads. Dev is Canadian, therefore he's wrong. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. Listen, I appreciate all these chats, but I'm just trying to get through all the super chats right now. I don't have to trust. I can just not care. That's true as well, Artemis. Like, you can just not give a shit whether or not your food is like properly regulated by some sort of like food safety commission. That's fine, right? That's fine. However, you know, if you're accused of a crime and the cops come to arrest you, you're gonna find it a hard it's gonna be a hard sell saying I don't care, because now you're stepping into like sovereign citizen territory, right? Why do these safety institutions need to be government agencies? Danny, it's because they have to be somehow enforced, right? It has to be universalized so that everyone is covered, and it has to be enforced. And the government is ultimately the monopoly on force. Tricky Mario, thank you. I'm glad you love the images. Too bad they don't have Wheels, Jaws, and Lingo alongside KidVid, IQ, Snaps, Boomer, and JD. I had some of the old Burger King toys from back in the 90s. They were great. I miss that stuff. Just trust the government, bro. Dude, no. There are times when it is appropriate to trust the government. There are times when it is inappropriate to trust the government. All right? Blanket trusting them and blanket distrusting them are equally stupid. Is that all the super chats? Thank you very much, everyone. Very appreciated. Like, this was an hour of just us arguing. I hope you guys are okay. I know we're arguing, and like I hope you guys don't feel put out that I'm pushing back on you. No, Dev, that comparison is idiotic. I can tell if something has mold in it. That's not sovereign citizen territory. Yeah, but you can't tell if something has E. coli in it. Yeah, see right here. C1119 says, Dev, it's never appropriate to trust the government. Wrong! Fucking wrong! Listen, I don't know if you understand this, but I'm not a libertarian. I'm not on the right wing. If you are an ideological rightoid, I am not your political friend. Now, if you want to determine me that I'm an enemy, that's your choice. Because I'm not an ideological leftoid either, right? I don't like the left and I don't like the right. But if me being neutral means that I'm your enemy, that's a problem with your point of view, not with me. Okay. Let's see. Does an authoritarian centrist based? Based. One more. Thank you, Elementarius. Thank you very much. I just wish it wouldn't cost so much with me. Listen. If anyone can't afford to super chat, please don't. Take care of yourself first, okay? I appreciate all the support, but I don't want you to go into like the poorhouse for me, okay? You see, right here, Shaker Silver. You are exactly what I was talking about. You just said you believe there is a neutral space you're occupying that doesn't exist. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. All right. I don't buy this everything is political leftoid nonsense. You're not bad. You're just naive, Brock. You still haven't shown me any proof. You haven't shown me any evidence whatsoever that the voting machines in 2020 were hacked. All right, show me, because I do recall like watching the same things coming out that you were back like 3 years ago, and I followed the investigation, and various investigations came out, and they're like, listen, yeah, we looked at the machines. There was a back door, but wasn't hacked. There's no trail here. Doesn't happen. Have I heard about Fabian Socialists? Yes, I have, Derek. Fabian Socialists. I know exactly what they are. Did I see that my art got shown on the anniversary EFAP? I did. Yes, I did. Adherent to Lady Columbia. For $20, thank you. I'd say the FCC is unconstitutional by default, the ATF as well, and the EPA, which could be handled by the Military Engineer Corps. The underlying fault is that the institutions have no legitimate basis in moral or practical. I'm not sure I agree with you on that one. I'm not sure about. Here's the thing: I don't know about the specific constitutionality of the various federal administrations or institutions. I don't know about that, but like, should they exist? Just in like a general moral question, I think they probably should. Yeah. $5, Artemis Fowl. I just don't like your faulty reasoning for default trust in U.S. institutions that get exposed for committing human rights violations consistently. Yeah, America's done some pretty bad things in the past. I mean, I've also looked into stuff, right? Like there's like, what was it, the fucking the Bay of Pigs invasion? Like that was a fucking disaster. There's like was it the CIA that like unleashed crack cocaine into like black communities and shit? Like I know what you're getting at, all right? I know what you're getting at. But like, suspicions are not evidence. Even past behavior isn't evidence. All right? You need evidence of these things. You need more than just like Trump claiming the election was rigged to actually think that the election was rigged. All right? And you have like judges from different states, different jurisdictions. You have Democrat judges, Republican judges. You have Trump appointees. You have like district attorneys. You've got Attorney General Barr. Barr was like the biggest Trump dick suck for like all 4 years or whatever he was in the job. All right. And even he came out and was like, listen, man, there's nothing to this. Like, no. All right. Everyone, regardless of political affiliation, said, no, Trump, the election was not stolen from you. There is no evidence of this. And so now you have two options. You have to believe that everything and everyone, all of these disparate institutions that have no influence over each other, all of these people with very different political ideas who are even opposed to each other, that they're all lying and they're all backstabbing Trump and it's all the uniparty, or that actually Trump didn't have the election stolen from him. All right. And the simpler solution is that Trump didn't have the election stolen from him. It's as simple as that, man. That's it. It's not necessarily, it's not even about necessarily trusting the institutions in this case. It's that there's so many sources that are coming out and saying, no, Trump lost. At some point, you have to be like, okay, all right, Trump lost. Adrian Robeldo, how's that trust working for Canadians now? Bank accounts put on hold, BS trail or BS trails, and now speech law is going to put you under a boot. Mexican, by the way. So the bank accounts thing, I'm still looking into that because I am going to be. The trucker video is actually coming. I don't like that their bank accounts were frozen, right? However, it's not like every single person who was there had their bank accounts frozen. It's still bad. It's still bad, but it's not like Trudeau is actively going after like every conservative voter or something like that, right? The truth is, Trudeau's on his way out. All right, Trudeau's on his way out. He's deeply unpopular. He's deeply unpopular even with his own voting bloc, and also the new conservative leader is young, is charismatic, and the normies like him. So Trudeau's on his way out. We're just waiting for the next election at this point. F you, Dev. I'll go to the poorhouse if I want to. Thanks, Joshua. Thanks, buddy. Batpick, $2. Can you play Disco Elysium? We started a Disco Elysium playthrough on the channel. I just have to get back to it. I want to beat Final Fantasy 14 or 16 before Starfield comes out. Not passed all the time, even today. All right, Artemis, send me proof of actual wrongdoing today. Not stuff that happened like in the 60s or the 70s, but like today. Okay? I'll look at it. Atris Oranus, $10. With me being a nobody on the internet, would it be possible to debate the election stuff one-on-one? I want to believe the election was sound, but no one has tried to discuss the evidence with me. I'm not opposed to talking about the election. It's just that I need to get my ducks in order, right? All the things that I'm talking about, I've seen at one point or another in collecting for an eventual election video that will eventually come, I'm sure. But like, I haven't like looked at it in a little bit, to be honest. Apparently, to Columbia, $2. The FCC imposes radio and TV censorship standards. Okay. I don't know much about the FCC, so FCC. Hold on. In Canada, the FCC is the farm credit. So let's see. FCC America. Let's see. Hold on. I want to try to look up. I'm sure there'll be like criticism of it. Oh yeah, the Telecommunications Act, 1996. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and say that the institutions are perfect and infallible and you should blindly trust them. No. Because clearly like they're still made up of people, and people are fallible, and things need to be changed sometimes. That's just how things are, right? But this idea that they're inherently corrupt and always will be, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. All right. If there are problems, we can fix the problems. Problems aren't intractable, you know? $20. Do the news. Okay. I'll do it. I'll do it, Shrimp. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I'll get to it. Okay. Some dumb spider. SEK, $20. You don't know if it was stolen. We don't know if it was stolen or not. No, we know it wasn't stolen. We know it wasn't stolen. Brock is like, Dev, explain the better. Shut up, Brock. Stop typing until you are ready to show me proof that the voting machines were actually hacked. You just keep pivoting, and I'm not interested in anything else you have to say, Brock, until you back up that dumb fuck statement you made. This is for saying the trucker video is coming. Dracus Luthos, thank you. Coming to the revelation that you have to make your own moral system. My friend was an Orthodox Jew his entire life. He's looking at alchemy now. I don't know about alchemy, but on some level, you do have to make your own moral system, yeah. On some level, you do have to make your own moral system, yes. Angela Lopez, I was jumped by 6 men with man buns. They doused me with soy latte, and they said, this is Biden country, and they rode off on electric scooters. I totally believe you, dude. I believe you. I believe you. It's attacked. Okay, so here's how you fix certain problems in government. If you're in a democracy, guess what? You vote. Because despite the crying of everyone who's like, voting isn't real, it's all rigged, the elites don't change. No, people who get voted into positions, they do react to the will of the electorate. All right? When things are unpopular, they don't fucking happen. Would you ever explain how equalization transfers work in Canada? I tried to research it. You see, Zatak, here's what I mean. Here, just vote harder, guys. See, this is what I mean. You believe it. You believe it that it's all just rigged. It's just a conspiracy. Nothing ever works. The institution's completely flawed. Voting isn't real. It just it's all controlled from the top down, and it's puppeted by the elites. It just serves to post hoc justify elite rule. That's what's behind the whole "just vote harder, guys" meme. But it's not true. It's just not true. The reason that you're saying just vote harder, guys, is because your political faction cannot vote hard enough, because you are not popular enough. If you were popular, you would win. Simple as. Okay. $20 from Yabol. Ever explain how equalization transfers work in Canada? I don't even know what equalization transfers are. Oh yeah, the equalization transfers is basically like transferring wealth from rich provinces to poor provinces in Canada, something like that. I think basically it's that like there's poor provinces like Quebec's kind of poor, and Newfoundland for a while was pretty poor, and there's like really rich provinces like Alberta, right, or BC, very rich provinces, and there's money moving between the provinces to like maintain a standard of living in all that's like a basic standard of living all across Canada. I don't know how I feel about them, to be honest. I got to think about it. I don't know how I feel about it. Proof wasn't stolen? X saying it is not proof. What? No. What I'm saying is that you need evidence that it was stolen, basically. David, we have to trust the Russian government finding the investigation in the plane crash. Listen, I know that like V brought this up, and he didn't like my answer, but it's the truth. All right, America, Canada, various places in Europe, they are not Russia. All right, they have more robust institutions. They have, frankly, a superior culture, and therefore, we can actually trust those governments and distrust the Russian one. Simple as. I'm not going to do this whole like, but they're a government. No. They are different. They are different. I wouldn't trust the Russian government for the same reason I wouldn't trust the Chinese government, for the same reason I wouldn't trust the Saudi Arabian government or the Iranian government, for the same reason I wouldn't trust the Nigerian government. All right? These places are fucking shitholes. Brock Sampson, whatever, man. Dev will never acknowledge anything that makes him question his precious institute. Just provide evidence that the voting machine was hacked, Brock. Come on. Brock, do it. Brock, do it. Hold on. Check your silver. We're special somehow. Yes, we are. The inheritors of Anglo-Saxon culture, we're absolutely special. Of course we are. Isn't that the whole point of American exceptionalism? Is that like our culture, our philosophy, our ideas are superior? And they are? I'm not going to buy this. Like, hold on. When did the right wing shift from like, yeah, we're better than the rest of the world to, oh my God, everyone else is better than us? Like, come on, what the fuck? Where did this cucked idea come from? You don't need to hack the machine. You just need to fortify the media for 2 months before the election. Let the magic happen. So here's the thing. The media is a different conversation. You can actually probably like lay out, hey, the media unfairly reported on this, and then like the people believed this, and then they voted in a certain way. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, that doesn't actually invalidate the vote, right? Because the inverse logic was used for Brexit back when Brexit happened. Is that everyone was once Brexit went through, that referendum went through, everyone was blaming media coverage and saying, oh, well, if the media reported on the story a different way, they'd vote differently. So we should have another Brexit vote. We should do another one. And everyone was like, all the conservatives then were like, no, the vote happened. It doesn't matter if the media could have changed the outcome of the vote. The vote happened, and now we have to live with it. That was the conservative line on Brexit. So I don't see why that conservative line would change when it came to the 2020 election. The proof it wasn't stolen is that no one has showed me proof it wasn't stolen. I've been waiting for fucking proof, Anatolope. Every time I see proof, it's shit that's already been looked through and like the investigation already led. It's like, oh, it actually wasn't stolen. Like that, the whole like case of ballots underneath the table, for example, those are all legitimate ballots. You know, it just people keep saying like these old theories that have already been debunked, as the meme says. They have a robust system of government. No, they don't. No, they do not. Maybe just because Mexico is completely corrupt that I can easily believe that every system is completely corrupt. Here's the thing, Adrian. That is, I think that's why V believes what he does, is because he lives in a much more corrupt system that exists in the West. Mexico's very corrupt. Romania is very corrupt, right? So I get it, right? I'm sympathetic to that point of view. But like, I've been to places that are more corrupt than Canada, and the difference is night and fucking day. Like, of course, there's going to be some corruption in every system. That's just how it is. But like, to say that there's somehow equivalent is just false. Like, it's just on the face of it, it's just false. There's too many super chats. I got to do the articles. Willow's in $10. I went into a dead zone for 50 minutes. You're still talking with the chat. Get to the news damage. I come to the Sith to hear the crazy news stories being all crazy. Not this cringe. Hey, listen, I'm having fun though. But thank you. What about the news? LOL. The mugshot. Mr. Bra, thanks for joining. Okay. I have a book for you to read. It's called Active Measures. I already read it. I know what's going on. I get it. But just because that is a thing that could happen does not mean that it is a thing that has happened. And will happen, and always will happen, and happens everywhere. Like, no. You're describing possibilities, not evidence that it's actually going on. Yeah, that's enough. No more. We've gotten to the end of the super chats. I appreciate all of it. You guys are all great for supporting me. No news, just chat. Fuck you. I appreciate all of the donations. You guys are excellent. All right, you guys are the best community. Even if you guys are kind of brain rotted when it comes to election stuff, at least some of you are. But you guys are the best. Thank you very much for all your support. Let's get to the articles, though. I think it's finally time. Okay? I think it's finally time. It is time. Let me just pull them up here. Okay, let's do it. Here's my P.O. box. If you want to send me anything in the mail, please send it there. You can also get yourself into the D Club in my Discord. All right. Once you do that, you can you do that through Patreon, Subscribestar, YouTube memberships, or Twitch subs. That's the way in. Okay. Let's start off with Trump's mugshot. All right. Trump's mugshot released after booking at Georgia jail on the election charges. Okay. Donald Trump's mugshot was released on Thursday evening after he was booked at the Atlanta jail. An unsmiling Trump was captured glaring at the camera. I'm changing the topic. Chris Chan has breached containment. This is not a drill. Thanks, dude. Thank you for the $5. No Chris Chan coverage today, though, unfortunately. Hold on. Me paying off the Dev Institute to push my agenda. I want to see the news. Thank you, dude. Okay. He posted it. He wasted little time trying to turn it to his advantage, posting on X, the site formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, there it is. Okay, there's the mugshot. Guys, how do you feel about the mugshot? Okay, so listen. We've had many a conversation about the legitimacy of the 2020 election today. We've had a little bit of conversation about the legitimacy of the charges against Trump that may or may not prevent him from running in 2024 today. We don't know. We're not going to have those conversations again because we'll be going for fucking ever. But just as a pure strategy conversation, how do you feel about Trump leaning into the mugshot? You know, this is the face he used on The Apprentice. He's making the face. He posts the face on social media. Like, the fact that he's leaning into it. I mean, he's making some money right now, and he's getting his supporters drummed up right now. And it's certainly a really funny meme, that's for sure. However, I think the retards on the left, they're leaning into it way too hard, right? Because they're going like, "Oh my God, how dare Trump not take this seriously? He was supposed to be humbled by this act, but he's actually being defiant. How dare he? Trump is a terrible fascist." Like, you know how it goes, right? So the left, I said this in the Archcast yesterday, the left is doing the exact same Orange Man bad bullshit that they did in 2016. And it only served to hype Trump up in 2016. And it will only serve to hype him up now. It's the same mistake. And it seems like they still haven't fucking learned their lesson. This is not how you campaign against Trump or against like his fan base, all right? You don't shame them for being pro-Trump. Here's the thing. Like, chat, I know a lot of you are way more pro-Trump than me. Do I ever shame you? Do I ever say you are a morally terrible person for disagreeing with me on these topics? No. We have disagreements. We argue a lot. Sometimes I call you retarded for having the dumb opinions that you have, but I don't think that you're morally inferior for disagreeing with me. Like that's fucking stupid, obviously, right? But that's the way the left is going. They're pulling out the morality card again. They're simply doing shaming, and it's not going to work because you know what? When someone shames you, you want to be defiant. That's how it is. You want to be defiant. You want to say, "Oh, you think that I'm evil? You think like I'm fuck you, you know? I'm going to make you clutch your pearls." You know what I mean? Everyone's saying, yes. Well, then you're all fucking snowflakes. And by the way, me calling you a snowflake, that's not a moral indictment against you. It's just a practical one. You guys should grow some thicker skin. As a Trump fan, he will not win agreeing with Dev. Thank you. It's killing you that Trump's not going to win. Yeah. It turns me on. Telling me I'm wrong is literally shaming and violence. But no, like here. I'm not making any moral indictments against you. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong, therefore you're immoral, and therefore I should shame you because I am morally superior to you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're wrong, all right? Those are two different statements. But the left is doing the whole, like, I'm better than you. Like Anna Kasparian back in the day, I'm better than you, you know? And it's like, it's not going to work. It's just going to make them want to oppose you more. Because you know what? That's how rebels work. That's what dissidents do. All right. When the powers that be tell you that you can't do a thing, you're just gonna want to do it. It's a normal human impulse. So that's what's going on here with the Trump mugshot. Right. That's what's going on here, and it is to the left's detriment that they're using the same dumb fuck playbook that they used in 2016. Now, I don't think it's going to be enough to make Trump win again. But here's the thing. If Trump does win again in 2024, it will be because the left acted so fucking stupidly they handed him the election. Okay. Speaking of that, by the way, Biden is selling off border wall parts to thwart the GOP. That's kind of funny. I feel like I have no choice but to vote Trump. I mean, I'm not an American, so I don't really, I'm not going to vote for anybody, obviously. Yeah. The Biden administration is quietly auctioning off millions of dollars worth of unused parts from former President Trump's border wall for peanuts in an apparent end run around the pending legislation in Congress. Let's see what's going on here. Military surplus selling 81 lots of steel square structural tubes intended for use as vertical bollards in the border barrier's 30-foot tall panels, hauling in about $2 million. Yeah, so these are the wall. Like, what a shitty wall too. Like, can you guys build a better fucking wall? Like, you're Americans. What the hell? But here's your wall. Okay. And they're just... Wait, hold on. The Biden administration is quietly selling off unused materials. Okay, unused materials. So they're not taking down the wall to sell it. They're just selling stuff that hasn't been used yet. They've just been sitting there. Steel structural tubes like these, purchased with taxpayer funds, were meant to form panels in Trump's U.S.-Mexico border wall. Does he have the right to do that? Well, why wouldn't he? I mean, Trump had the right to unilaterally build the wall using federal power. Why wouldn't Biden have the right to unilaterally sell it using federal power? Up to $300 million worth of taxpayer-funded wall components have been left to rust since Biden came to office. The Finish It Act will make the feds use those materials on new wall construction, or hand the remaining stock over to states like Texas for use in their own border projects. Now, the Biden administration is rushing to get rid of the wall leftovers before the GOP-led House can pass a matching version of the bill and make it law. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess if you're ideologically opposed to putting up the wall, I guess that's what you would do. But that's kind of scummy, isn't it? I mean, it's not illegal, but it's certainly immoral in my opinion. Because I don't think, like, people are saying the wall is racist. No, it's not. It's just a wall. Lots of countries have walls. This sale is a wasteful and ludicrous decision by the Biden administration that only serves as further proof they have no shame. The move is outrageous behind-the-scenes maneuvering. Well, you better pass the law quickly then, dude. Is there a date when this was put here? Doesn't look like it. Yep, they're being sold off in online auctions before Congress can pass a law that would force their use in new wall construction. There's the wall going in. I've heard that people are just like taking blowtorches and cutting the wall down. I don't know how true that is, but I guess we'll see. $2 from Jack. Us Americans, you do love outlaws and rebels. Yep, that's the thing. That's a core component of American culture, is loving outlaws and rebels. Yeah. The lot listings scrupulously avoided identifying the tube's original purpose, but viewers of the company's Instagram page were not fooled. It's good for building a wall, a user named Honest Jake wrote. Then one guy said, why don't you put that up instead of selling it? Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, the wall should obviously be finished, right? It should obviously be finished. Now, the way that Trump employed the military to build the wall was kind of bullshit, because he should have got congressional support for that sort of thing. But nonetheless, here we are. And it should be finished, in my opinion. Women who kill their newborns are deeply unwell. So why are they being tried for murder? Because they killed their newborns, dude? Last week, 19-year-old Paris Mayo was sentenced to at least 12 years in prison for the murder of her newborn baby when she was 15. After concealing her pregnancy, Mayo delivered her baby alone, silently in her parents' home, while upstairs her father, who would die 10 days later, was undergoing dialysis and her mother slept. Mayo told the police that the baby all of a sudden popped out while she leaned against a windowsill. Terrified of being discovered, she crushed her baby's head and stuffed his mouth with cotton wool balls before concealing his body in a bag. Explaining, I didn't want anyone to throw him away, I just wanted someone to deal with it. These details are shocking, unfathomable, but the jury's decision to reject a verdict of infanticide is also deeply troubling. Her murder conviction adds to an increasingly clear picture that women and girls who conceal a pregnancy and subsequently cause the death of their infant through violence or neglect are being treated with an ever more punitive approach. Shouldn't they be? Like, they're killing their kids. Why shouldn't they be treated with a punitive approach? It's fucking murder, dude. Okay, research by Dr. Whoever, an associate professor of criminal law, found that women who are accused of killing a newborn are incredibly vulnerable and experience pregnancy as a moment of crisis. This person is concerned with the 1938 Infanticide Act, a homicide offense which provides such women with a partial defense for the murder or manslaughter of a biological child aged under a year is being swept aside. For the last 50 years, no woman has been imprisoned following a conviction of infanticide, with many receiving psychiatric support. There is a perceived hardening from the Crown Prosecution Service towards such cases and a misunderstanding of psychological state these women experience. They often live with violence and abuse, as Mayo did, and fear the discovery of their pregnancy. Isolated and terrified, they deny their condition and deliver a baby without assistance or pain relief, viewing their infant as a problem that can only be solved by being unborn. During the labor, they may experience disassociation, unable to distinguish fantasy from reality. Okay, so if true, because I'm sure there are some cases where it is, and she's not just using this as an excuse because she just killed her kid and wants an excuse. In a case where it's true, what should be done, do you think? Think about it, right? So, a woman is raped, and she's held captive by her rapist. Let's just say, hypothetically. And then she denies her situation because she's traumatized. She gives birth, okay? She disassociates from her body during the process. And then after she comes back, she kills her child. Okay? And then let's say, like, should she be prosecuted for murder? Considering her mental state. I don't know. I think you could probably say that, like, the guy that raped her, maybe there should be like, maybe there should be like a different law with a different type of charge, where like the rapist is now pinned with that if the person is in this sort of like captive situation. You know what I mean? Because ultimately the situation is his fault, right? Not hers. Plead insanity? Yeah, I think so. I think it's like a plead insanity case. $5. Breaking news. Far right conspiracy theorists believe baby killing is bad. Yeah, the raper should get the blame, I think. Yeah. L take Dev? Why? Why is this an L take? What the fuck? I don't know. I think it should be pinned on the rapist because he caused that emotional state in her, that mental state that caused her to do it. But that also ends up being a very slippery slope because now you're gonna have like chicks like in the fucking super mega case who are like, oh, the possible sexual assault that I had caused this mental emotional state in me such that I'm not responsible for any of my actions ever, and they're all at it's like it'd be so fucking stupid. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Should the woman go free? No, the woman should probably go to like an institution. The woman should go to an institution. But I guarantee you that it's I think it's the rapist's fault in this case. Yeah. Also, holy fuck, guys! All the arguing we had. Holy shit! Listen, all the arguing we had. Like, I only have 20 minutes left. We're not getting through all these articles. You fucks. Listen, I appreciate the super chats, but like, you fucks. We don't usually make excuses for mental states to abdicate blame for a person's Yeah, I agree with you. It could be one of those things where like plead insanity, you know, plead insanity so that you can go to an institution rather than going to jail, and then hopefully you can get better. It's one of those things. Dev, you knew what you were getting into. Don't lie. Dev, you're an old man who argues with chat. Oh, by the way, I do intend to do like a stream tonight, so make sure you guys drop back in. All right, I'm streaming again tonight. I'm gonna play some Final Fantasy. I want to get that game done before Starfield comes out. Let's keep going. The Sydney axe attacks. Woman has been jailed for wounding 7-Eleven customers. Oh my god, look at this chick. She walks into the 7-Eleven with a fucking axe. Hold on. The title didn't say this. A transgender woman who randomly attacked 2 people with an axe in an Australian convenience store has been jailed. I mean, it's a very blurry picture, but she kind of passes. Maybe she can be fixed too. Let me ask you a question. Thank you for the $20, Flex. Very appreciated, dude. Okay. She carried out an unprovoked attack in Sydney last year. She entered the 7-Eleven. She used the axe to strike a man in the face and a woman. Look at her go, dude. That guy's just like hanging out, and the axe is like rearing back. Like holy shit. Use the axe to strike a man in the face and a woman in the back of the head. Both victims suffered serious injuries. They convicted her of 3 charges on Friday. Her victims thought she had come from a costume party when she entered the store at about 2 a.m. But nope, she was just there to axe people. She spoke with her victim briefly before attacking him. He was knocked to the ground and suffered a 10-centimeter facial wound and fractures. Jesus. Why is he smiling? LOL. Maybe he's into it. All right. She then attempted to strike. Oh no, she hit her second victim near the door, leaving her with a skull. She then attempted to strike a third person outside the store, but he managed to use his backpack as a shield. She was arrested shortly afterward. Her lawyer told the court she was out of her mind at the time, was affected by drugs, alcohol, and prescription medication. Her mental health had declined after she began taking hormones to transition from male to female. Jesus. Well, okay. She was convicted of 2 counts of wounding with intent to murder and 1 count of attempted wounding with intent to murder. She will be sentenced in September. That's wild, dude. Look at this. Like this is straight out of there's no movie here. There's no video. Yeah. Straight out of a fucking like horror movie shit. Documents reveal that Eric Adams sent migrants to Florida, Texas, and China. Okay. Between April 2022 and April 2023, the city spent around $50,000 on travel costs to resettle 114 migrant households across the country and the globe. Oh. He's the Democratic mayor of New York City, right? Yeah. After lashing out at leading Republicans for busing asylum seekers to Democrat-led cities, New York Mayor Eric Adams turned around and did something similar, sending dozens of migrants to red states like Florida and Texas. And Adams didn't stop at the nation's borders. Between April 2022 and April 2023, New York City spent around $50,000 to resettle 114 migrant households in cities around the U.S. and the globe. Some were sent to countries in South America. One was sent to China. The most common destination was Florida. So I'll say the same thing about this that I said about Ron DeSantis settling people around. There was some possible claim that the people who were settled by Ron DeSantis, like up to Martha's Vineyard, didn't know where they were being sent. And if that's the case, that's illegal. It's certainly immoral if that's the case. They just throw them on a plane, don't tell them where they're going, off they go. That's bad. However, it is not illegal if they know where they're going. All right. And so it wasn't illegal for Ron DeSantis to do, and it's not illegal for Eric Adams to do, as long as the people who are being sent around are adequately informed of where they're going. It is funny, though, that he's being this hypocritical. That's certainly funny. Single player Carl, $2, based and patriot pilled. Send them all back. Wait, Carl, I thought you were modded on this channel, Carl. That's there's no mod on your name. You hear that? That alarm means that I have 15 minutes. Okay. We'll have to get going. So Florida received 28, Texas received 14. That represents a fraction of the nearly 79,000 migrants who entered the city since last spring, and is thousands fewer than Governor Greg Abbott has sent out of Texas. But the fact that New York City paid for trips to Republican strongholds could further inflame national tensions on a subject that is sure to influence both congressional races and President Joe Biden's re-election bid. I think I might have to do a video on this topic, because even if legally their ducks are all in a row, the hypocrisy with this story is becoming like just too fucking blatant to ignore. You know what I mean? I'll have to see. Somali migrant sexually assaults a woman while she's in labor after disguising himself as a nurse. What the fuck, dude? A woman was sexually assaulted while in labor at a hospital in Rome by a man who had stolen a nurse's uniform to sneak onto the delivery ward. The attacker, a 38-year-old Somali man, reportedly walked into the delivery room where he groped the woman's thighs and genitals and began masturbating, the Italian media reports. The 43-year-old victim fought off her attacker and screamed for help, and hospital staff came to her aid. What the shit, dude? So, like, she's like, okay, it's terrible, all right? This is sexual assault. I shouldn't be laughing. But the idea that he's going after someone who's fucking giving birth is just, it's wild. The Somali man had walked into Sant'Eugenio Hospital on New Year's Eve and managed to steal a set of nurses' scrubs from a cupboard. He does not appear to have been challenged by staff as he made his way into the labor ward, where he is said to have sexually assaulted his victim. He was then arrested at the scene, and he was charged with aggravated sexual violence and theft. The attacker had been living in Italy for 5 years on a residence permit, but he has a criminal record. Then send him the fuck back. When asked during a court appearance why he was at the hospital on New Year's Eve, he replied, "Only God knows." Well, is God the name of your dick? 'Cause I'm pretty sure he knows. He was just checking to see if she was dilated. My God, like what a fucking... Okay. All right. Disney's Splash Mountain is allegedly haunted and fighting back against construction. Okay. All right. I come across many stories every day. While many are newsworthy and true, some are just too fun not to share. Even if the story is so out there, it makes me chuckle. This story falls into the second category. While I feel anything is possible but not necessarily probable, the idea that the ghosts of Splash Mountain are fighting back against becoming Tiana's Bayou Adventure are too unique to pass up. There's a post in a Disneyland Facebook group where apparently like workers at Disneyland kind of post all their stuff. So, a person whose husband is working on the demolition of Splash Mountain for the transition to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they're apparently facing pushback from unseen forces. My husband is working on the Splash Mountain Tiana ride at Disneyland. Right now it's mainly demo, and let me tell you, Splash Mountain isn't going down without a fight. From what he tells me, the ride is haunted. I'm not much of a believer in such things, but it's funny to hear stories that tells me. They have tools go missing and then found randomly in hard-to-get areas. They can be pulling wire from the wall, and it feels like someone's pulling back. They've even had fires and a small explosion happen. Definitely looking forward to Tiana's opening to hear the spooky stories. I pray for the ghost's victory. So yeah, disappearing, reappearing tools, someone pulling back on wires, and even small fires. Wow. Who knows, dude? Maybe it really doesn't want to get torn down. Splash Mountain is a nice ride in Disneyland. I did enjoy it back when I was a kid. Controversial Kick streamer gets smacked in Japan after locals have had enough. Oh yeah, I remember this. So there's been a glut of Western streamers going to Japan, streaming with like their backpacks or like with their like IRL stream setups, their streamer backpacks, and they're like dancing around. They're being retards. They're being fucking stupid. You know what I mean? They're like they're making the Japanese fucking hate them for disrupting everything. And finally, one of them got a palm to the face. A streamer on Kick by the name of Johnny Somali got smacked by a local in Japan after his racist outbursts resulted in a violent outcome. IRL streams are responsible for some of the most chaotic content on the internet. After all, it's difficult to control for the number of strangers one might encounter while broadcasting a night out on the town or sharing one's travels abroad. As such, many IRL streamers have encountered uncomfortable and even dangerous situations that happen in real time. For example, one streamer got chased by a man threatening to kill him during a broadcast in a local park, and many others have experienced attacks from bystanders. Actually, I remember seeing one. One guy was like IRL streaming on Twitch, and he got mugged. Like, got the shit beat out of him, got his stuff stolen. He was like lying there on the street, and then like his channel got banned for violence. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? The ads are automatic. It's not me doing it. YouTube runs one ad every 30 minutes. So it's how it is. So Johnny Somali has garnered a negative reputation for himself after clips surfaced of the broadcaster making racist remarks towards Japanese locals while on a train. On top of breaking etiquette by being loud in public, his mentions of Hiroshima and Nagasaki left viewers gobsmacked. But it wasn't long before he got confronted by a good Samaritan who shut his behavior down in a shocking moment that went viral. Nope, I'm not gonna watch your full fucking video. Fuck you. Like, shut up. Okay. Let's see. The streamer was broadcasting while speaking to his chat in the street when he got smacked in the face by a local just at a frame of camera. What the fuck? Yo, chill out. Relax. It's nothing. There ain't no problem. Here it is. Where's the smack? There it is. Boom. Fuck you, dude. Like, why can't you just be chill, man? Like, why do you gotta be an asshole? You get what you deserve, in my opinion. You get what you fucking deserve. I think we only have time for one more, unfortunately. Peel police say that $20 million worth of gold and other goods were stolen from Toronto's Pearson Airport. Good job, Canada. The Peel police are investigating after $20 million worth of gold and other high-value items were stolen from a holding cargo facility at the Toronto Pearson International Airport. See, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys know this because it is Canada, right? But Toronto is one of those like world-class, like world level cities. Like lots of trade goes through Toronto, even if it's not like going into Canada. There's trade that like goes through Toronto and then out to somewhere else. Happens all the time, right? Toronto is not as big, but for economics, it's like it's kind of on that level of like a Seattle or something, or like a London, or like a it's Canada's biggest city for a reason, right? You know, we here in Canada we call Toronto a mix between New York City and LA. It's the worst parts of New York City and the worst parts of LA in one city. It's a terrible fucking city. But lots of economic activity goes through Toronto. So this is actually kind of like a big deal here that this happened. Will you do the rest next time? I'll do them next week. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Peel, it got stolen from a holding cargo facility at Toronto Pearce International Airport. Peel police inspector said that a cargo container holding gold and other goods were stolen from Pearson Airport. Once this cargo was offloaded at a holding facility subsequent to its arrival, the high value container was removed by illegal means. The Peel Police Airport Division have been leading the investigation. Our goal is to solve the theft. We want to solve it. I can't provide exact details. What I can say is that we feel this is an isolated incident. For the public worried about flying out, there should be no concern. We do not consider this a threat to public safety. Toronto's Pearson Airport is often used to transport gold mined in Canada so it can be shipped to customers globally. The Toronto Sun was the first to report on a gold heist at Pearson. Okay. The Ontario's RCMP, the RCMP, by the way, are the Canadian FBI. They're the federal police. They initially said that its unit was aiding the investigation. The Peel's police has a great working relationship with the RCMP, which will remain a quick call away. But the investigation is in the local police's jurisdiction. Okay. Isolated incident, rare event, got it. Yep. Air Canada's cargo operations were handling the gold shipment when it was taken on Monday. The Greater Toronto Airports Authority tells City News that Pearson was briefly locked down for 18 minutes due to the security incident. Okay, so a bunch of fucking gold was stolen from Canada. Good job. Good job, guys. Yeah. I did get a new car, yes. I showed off at the start of the stream. Ontario, 13 million people and 2/3 live in one city. Exactly, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. Toronto has like 9 or 10 million people living in it. And Canada has like 40 million people living in it. So Toronto is like 25% of our entire fucking population. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid, dude. Okay. The rest of these, there's 7 more. I'll do them next time. Sorry. But you guys argue with me too much. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's not my fault. Dev innocent. Dev innocent. I'm just joking around, obviously. Thanks for being here, guys. You guys are the best. I appreciate all the donos today. Yeah, I've got to go out. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have like it's been like this for maybe a fuck. It's been like this for maybe a couple months now. I have a consistent 3 o'clock Friday now. So ooh. There won't be a next time. You just keep getting baited to talk about the election. Hey, if I'm getting baited with money, it's no problem. No, I got to go somewhere pretty much every 3 p.m. on Sundays. So I'll be back tonight with another stream. I'll be playing Final Fantasy 16. I want to finish it up. Make sure you're here. I wear a funny costume. I dress up as like a Final Fantasy black mage. I won't do the blackface though, but the rest of the costume's there. So come say hi, okay? I'd appreciate it if you come say hi. Who should we raid? Who's currently online? Who's currently going? What's the scoop? Let's go raid Chudlogic. Why not? Chudlogic is a good boy. Okay? Oh. I love you guys. Thanks very much.